RAUSCH Games! Hello, and welcome back to RAUSCH Games on YouTube! Oh, there's a big Samoan drop to get us started out. We are here for Friday Night Smackdown. It's our second episode of Smackdown in the month of May 2K14. We're coming to you live in front of 12,400 screaming WWE fans here in the pit, former University Arena, downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the campus of the University of New Mexico. As I mentioned, 12,400 screaming fans here, 5 matches tonight, and if you can't tell by this opening match that we're going to have a great show, I don't know what to tell you. This is the match that we all want to see at a pay-per-view. You've got your WWE Tag Team Champions, The Shield, Roman Reigns in the ring now. They are taking on the $1 Million Corporation, World Heavyweight Champion Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy. This is a rivalry that's been kind of festering under the scenes throughout much of the last month and a half that we've been running this universe mode so far this season. And this is only the second time we've seen these squads in the ring together. There's been a lot spoken back and forth, and this past week on Superstars, the $1 Million Corporation attempted to send a message to the Shield, interrupting a card game between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Get off my TV, Yamato Spirit 84. And the Shield fought back on the attack, not accepting the message from Ted DiBiase. The Shield kind of drew their line in the sand and made sure that the big guys of the $1 Million Corporation knew that this was their championship. These are their belts. They belong to them, they're going to defend them, and they are not going to let Ted DiBiase's sphere of influence extend beyond the blue brand SmackDown. They've gone so far as to issue a challenge to the $1 Million Corporation that has been accepted for this match here on SmackDown. The Shield did indeed beat them last month on an episode of Raw. This is technically a rematch of that. There has been no mention made of there being a tag team championship match at Over the Limit later this month, but as mentioned on our RAUSCH Games Reddit, www.reddit/RAUSCH Games, the matches, we only have 4 matches for Over the Limit planned out so far as it stands. Those will be John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship, no stipulation applied. We have the Macho Man Randy Savage taking on Dean Ambrose, also no stipulation, but that one will be for the United States Championship that Ambrose, also of the Shield, successfully defended at a triple threat last month at Extreme Rules. We also will see the Divas Championship finally defended, much to the happiness of Natalya. She's the #1 contender, and she'll be taking on AJ Lee for the belt in a match. We will also see The Undertaker versus Wade Barrett. That is a definite match. The sides have agreed. It appears as though The Undertaker has chosen Inferno as his stipulation of choice, though that has not been confirmed. We have not seen an Inferno match in quite some time in the WWE. It's brutal, it's insane, and it's going to cause all kinds of pain to The Undertaker. We've got to tag into Andre the Giant there. Matches we do not have that we should have at Over the Limit, which we just have yet to see if they'll occur or not. Oh, and there's Roman Reigns saving Rollins in the corner. And he's been tagged in here. But no, matches that we should have that are not as of yet on the card. We want to see Andre the Giant defend his World Heavyweight Championship. His #1 contender, according to the group of shady arbiters that run the power rankings and determine things outside of rivalries here in the WWE, actually have a little man by the name of the Ultimate Warrior listed as the #1 contender to that belt here on SmackDown. For those that have been living under a rock and is not paying attention to this universe mode so far, Andre the Giant won the World Heavyweight Championship over 2 weeks ago at Extreme Rules by defeating Alberto Del Rio and eventually sending him down to NXT in the process. Roman Reigns taking a little break here in this opening tag team match, non-title I should say. Oh, there's a huge belly-to-belly from Roman Reigns there. Unbelievable strength from the young upstart. But I completely lost my train of thought. It's been a while since I commentated. We recently had our little hard drive apocalypse, which we are now back from. We only ended up missing about 4 days and only about 2 videos worth of content. So I'm not going to go off schedule. I'm just going to pretend last week never happened, and we'll jump right back in with more universe mode here. We may be a day behind schedule this week, and then we'll be back to normal by next week. Oh, running grapples, Roman. They're not going to work every time. We've got a pin from Andre the Giant, 2, but Roman Reigns does kick out. Seth Rollins there to back him up just in case he needs it. Get the double team. Get the double team. Oh, you don't want the double team. Yeah, so Andre the Giant beats Alberto Del Rio at Extreme Rules for the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto is sent down to NXT, and Andre the Giant hasn't done much of anything since then. No mention's been made of him. We saw him defeat Stone Cold Steve Austin last week on SmackDown, but, I mean, it was a non-title match, first off, and Stone Cold really had it in the bag. Andre the Giant was lucky to win. There have been murmurs backstage that Ted DiBiase is keeping his big man, Andre the Giant, the crown jewel in his empire, out of competition, as he appears to be a liability. Oh my God, Roman Reigns! How did you ever? Unbelievable from the big man there. And there's a running elbow from Andre the Giant. So the Giant has not been featured much yet this month. He and King Kong Bundy were sent to deliver a message to the Shield on Superstars that the Shield intercepted happily. And there's a spear from Roman Reigns, but he misses it. King Kong Bundy rolls out like nothing ever happened, and now Reigns is hurting. But now he's going to send Bundy into his own corner, and he's going to run across, and he's going to bring Seth Rollins back in. So because of the lack of activity on the part of Andre the Giant so far this month, we here really want to see him defend his belt. Does he have what it takes against anybody else, or was he just really good against Alberto Del Rio when it counted? We want to see that. We want to see the Shield finally defend these tag team championships. Their number one contenders have been the $1 Million Corporation. Double spear from Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy to Seth Rollins. I think they just killed him. Oh no, Seth Rollins does kick out. But their number one contenders have been the $1 Million Corporation since we got this universe mode started up, and they just have not been able to capitalize on their status as contenders. You know that DiBiase really wants the tag team championships. He wants everything he can get his hands on. He wants to hold every title and eventually take over the WWE. We have yet to prove whether or not he wants to take over the WWE literally or just figuratively by holding the titles. But either way, he greatly improves his chances of impressing Vince McMahon in a business deal if he can simply... Oh, King Kong Bundy has Seth Rollins up. If he can simply win everything. Not as simple as it sounds, no, but c'est la vie. There's King Kong Bundy for a pin on Seth Rollins, but Rollins kicks out as Andre slides back in. And I mean, this is just the biggest rivalry we have in the WWE right now. What's interesting... Oh, huge backflip splash from Seth Rollins. What's interesting about these two groups... Last week, while we were down without a hard drive, Vince McMahon, our chairman, announced that there will indeed be a special third pay-per-view in the month of June. This is a pay-per-view other than the NXT and WWE major pay-per-views. I forget what it is in June off the top of my head. We'll find out. And Seth Rollins going to slide out of the ring. And now back up in. They're playing the waiting game here, are the Shield. They know they're outsized, but they have the speed. They have the agility. They know that. But what was announced for a third special pay-per-view in the month of June is a King of Trios tournament. We don't know much about it at this point. We'll talk about it a little bit more throughout this show, as I want to provide this match with some actual match commentary. And there's Andre the Giant lifting Seth Rollins up. Oh, big push down. What I can tell you, though, is that... Oh, wait. Button push sequence. Activate. Gotta make sure Roman Reigns hits it right. He knocks Andre the Giant down. And he's got King Kong Bundy off the apron. And now Roman Reigns, gets put down by Andre the Giant, the two big men in the ring. Well, I mean, I guess everybody here is a big man except for Seth Rollins. There's a huge elbow drop. And Roman's got to kick out. He does kick out. Unbelievable from Roman Reigns. Andre the Giant had the pin squarely locked in. But what's interesting about these two teams is that they both function as trios, as three-man groups. The Shield, obviously, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. The $1 Million Corporation had formerly acted as King Kong, Bundy, Andre the Giant, and Ted DiBiase. But DiBiase can stay back and pull the strings as a manager now because they officially have Virgil in their ranks. You have to think that these two teams are going to be representative of the WWE in the cross-promotional King of Trios tournament that will occur midway through next month, the second Sunday in the month of June. That is when we have King of Trios booked. We're going to have teams from all over. You'll have trios from the WWE, from the NXT roster, and from the IWC, which figures to be heavily represented with its more high-flying, Chikara-influenced trio teams. We've got another pin from King Kong Bundy here, but Roman Reigns does indeed kick out. And Bundy throws Reigns over the shoulders. He runs at him, no doubt trying to get another spear there. Bundy freaking out in the corner, decides to go back to work on Roman Reigns. Either way, King of Trios aside, we don't know who's going to be crowned the king at that tournament until it's obviously been taken care of and the deed is done. What we do know is that we want this match here in this ring right now, this incredible match. We want this at Over the Limit. We want the Shield to be able to prove in a forum where it actually counts, where their titles are on the line, that they can defend them from the $1 Million Corporation, that they can stop Ted DiBiase from taking over. But King Kong Bundy with the pin over Roman Reigns stops any notion of that being proven here tonight on SmackDown. When the Shield comes to the blue brand, champions or not, momentum or not, this is the brand that is currently owned by the $1 Million Corporation, and it plays by Ted DiBiase's rules. The Shield walk in as uninvited guests, they have a challenge answered, and despite rolling out of the ring several times to prolong this match and use their speed to their advantage, they could not match the power of Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy, and they lose in their rematch from last month's contest. These two teams now stand at 1-1 all time over the past month and a half. You know that third tie-breaking match just has to be at Over the Limit, don't you? We'll let you know if that match ends up being signed, but Vince McMahon has a weird way of booking these things. Either way, we've got 4 more matches coming up that I haven't even announced yet. Go check the card on Reddit if you haven't done that yet, if you're not excited yet. We're coming back with a big-time triple threat, guys. We'll see you in a few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from commercial. We are into our second match here from the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Over 12,000 fans here, and this is indeed the triple threat match that we made mention of on our Reddit match card update last week, where we updated quite a few things here at the WWE. We've got the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, taking on Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, and Virgil of the $1 Million Corporation. Triple threat rules apply, weapons allowed, pins and submissions only inside the ring. No count out, ladies and gentlemen, no DQ. Each of these 3 men were signees to WWE after we began this year's Universe mode. They all came to SmackDown after the fact, and they all hail from teams that are kind of trying to get involved more in the tag team division. You've got Scott Steiner as the de facto leader of the NWO. You've got Dusty Rhodes forming a tag team with his son Cody, who we will see in a match immediately after this. They have yet to do anything inside the tag team division as Virgil and Scott Steiner head out. And Virgil, as we know, is the latest inductee into the $1 Million Corporation. He is their 4th member if you count manager, owner, CEO Ted DiBiase. And now all 3 men brawling on the ramp. Big back suplex from Dusty Rhodes to Big Papa Pump. Scott Steiner on the ramp sends him down with a big-time clothesline, and they are just killing each other out here. All kinds of slams, and each of these men is at an advanced age. They should not be working on at all, let alone on the ramp like this. But each of them representative of a team that wants to be more involved in the chase for the Shield's Tag Team Championships. We know that the $1 Million Corporation is on its way, and we've seen the NWO beat DX so far in the ring. Huge throw from Virgil there to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, just disregarding his body against the floor of the arena here in New Mexico. We know that the NWO has title aspirations as well, and Dusty has been good by it as himself so far. He and Cody have not appeared in anything together yet in any capacity as a tag team in the WWE, and this could very well be what opens the door for them in this triple threat. Keep in mind also that being added to the roster late means that you're not necessarily put up into a contendership spot. That's the way that the shady and secretive hooded arbiters that determine the power rankings decide things around here. The newer you are, the less likely you are to contend for a title. So these 3 newcomers all want to take each other on here and get put high up in the power rankings for either Damian Sandow's Intercontinental Championship or as we know, Andre the Giant's World Heavyweight Championship. Andre the Giant, we just saw taking apart the Shield with his running buddy, King Kong Bundy. And a huge hip toss from Dusty Rhodes to Virgil into the steel stairs. And now Rhodes has the stairs, going after Virgil on the outside, decks him over the top of the head with them. Unbelievable attack from the American Dream. He's going crazy with a huge elbow drop into the chest there. And now working from behind on Virgil. But Virgil reverses out and kicks him in the back of the knee. And now Virgil's got him up. Atomic drop. Lands him right on top of those steel steps, hitting his left knee on him. And there's a big leg drop from Virgil. Aside from this match, we will have 3 more coming up right after this. We just mentioned Cody Rhodes. He'll be taking on Christian one-on-one immediately after this. We'll then have the #1 contender to the Divas Championship, Natalya. She's taking on Kaitlyn in a one-fall match. And to finish off the evening, our main event, it's a rematch from last week. The Extreme Rules tag no longer applies. Big belly-to-belly, and Dusty's head hits the steel steps. Dusty Rhodes may be out of it here, ladies and gentlemen. And he is back up, actually, and he and Virgil are going to go for the double team on Scott Steiner. Lift him up over the knee. Double rib breaker there. And now Dusty and Virgil are both going after Scott Steiner. Dusty spins him around. Huge bionic elbow from the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And he's all kinds of fired up about it. But yes, our main event tonight will be a rematch of last week's main event. We're going to have Razor Ramon taking on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as Dusty Rhodes lays in the elbows to Virgil. Worthy of a replay, apparently, but that is his finishing maneuver, knocking him dead on the floor of the arena. Remember, no pins, no submissions outside. Everything has to happen inside the ring in this match, despite the fact that there are no disqualifications. But we will have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat taking on Razor Ramon in the main event. It's one fall. Ricky Steamboat attacked Razor Ramon on Superstars after he thought the end to their match last week on Smackdown with the Razor's Edge on the floor of the arena was a bit of a questionable and dangerous call, and he let Razor Ramon know that, attacking him backstage while he was in the middle of an interview with Renee Young. So we will have that. We will have those other 3 matches, and right now we've got this happening. The NWO is another WWE team that we will probably see take part in the King of Trios tournament next month. Just depends on how many spots there are. We know that the pay-per-view event itself is going to feature 7 matches. It will start the night with 8 tag teams, 4 matches being fought between those 8. The winners, the remaining 4 teams, they will move on to the semifinals. Then they will fight each other. You'll have two one-on-one matches, 2 tag team matches, however you want to say that, to determine the 2 teams of finalists. And then from there, oh, Dusty's out, but he breaks up the pin. From there, you will have your King of Trios crowned. But heading into the pay-per-view, there must be preliminary seeding. There will be matches fought between Trios teams on the first 2 matches of every show leading up to the event itself in the middle of June. And that will determine who represents which company at the pay-per-view. It has not been determined yet how many teams WWE will get, how many NXT will get, and how many IWC will get. We don't know yet if that will be determined by the number of active trios on each roster. Oh, and there's a series of punches from Dusty Rhodes. And Scott desperately wants in, and Scott Steiner does get in, and he's got Dusty up. Big time back suplex after Virgil is knocked unconscious. And now Scott Steiner lifts Dusty up. And he's got him with the double underhook into a sit-out powerbomb. But Virgil's there to break it up. So we don't know yet how the trios will actually be determined, who makes it to the pay-per-view. We know that it's going to be tried to be made as unbelievable. There's an STO and a Russian leg sweep. I'm getting all caught up talking about the King of Trios here, guys. And Dusty Rhodes from behind. Very nice maneuver. And once again going crazy. Big elbow drop to the chest of Scott Steiner. And there's a running DDT to Virgil. And now over on Steiner, Dusty is shaking, he's juking, he's jiving, he's cabbage patching. And a huge running elbow drop to Big Papa Pump. And from behind, working on the head now, not going for the pin there as we thought he would to end this triple threat match. One more elbow drop for posterity's sake. We do know that Vince McMahon and the chairman of the IWC, a man who we do not yet know, we have no idea who he is at this point. They will be looking to make it as fair as possible between their respective brands. They will both be looking for an opportunity to prove, oh, Dusty with the pin. Can't get it on Papa Pump there, though. And more elbows from Dusty Rhodes to Scott Steiner. Virgil holding his head, looking on. He's fallen victim to those elbows quite a bit so far in this match. We will have much more on King of Trios as the month progresses. Right now, we are in setup mode on all of that. We'll let you know as things are finalized. We'll let you know who to expect. And now Dusty for the pin on Virgil. 1, 2. Oh, the kick out at 2. Dusty Rhodes had that match right where he wanted it. But he's got another running DDT to Virgil. Plants him down on the mat. And now there's Big Papa Pump. Huge running, diving clothesline. And now he's got Dusty Rhodes, but Dusty reversing out. And one more freak out elbow drop into the chest. We've seen quite a lot of that. Here's a pin, but Virgil's up. And Virgil does break the pin up from the ref. Now Dusty onto Virgil. Virgil throwing his way out, slamming the head of Dusty Rhodes down to the mat. And now into a Russian leg sweep. And now Virgil is the one who's completely in control. The $1 Million Corporation in control of this match. Going after Big Papa Pump with a kick to the gut there. And now he's going to send him into the turnbuckle while Dusty Rhodes is down. Wait, no, Dusty is up now. And wait, Virgil heading up top. And there's a big diving clothesline sending Big Papa Pump down. And Dusty is too busy celebrating. Nothing. He steals the pin, but Virgil is right behind him. There's no way they're going to make that work out. And Big Papa Pump with a huge tilt-a-whirl slam right into Dusty Rhodes there. And now all three men are just brawling in one corner here. Madness is breaking out in the ring. There's a big running forearm from Virgil. Papa Pump goes in for the pin on Dusty, but Virgil breaks it up. And Dusty Rhodes is knocked out by a Scott Steiner clothesline. And now Steiner is going to drag him toward the center of the ring. And he's pumping himself up as Virgil looks on, taking a rest here. He's got the elbow into a pin, but Dusty kicks out at the last second there. And now from behind is Dusty Rhodes, but Scott Steiner reversing into a big belly-to-belly side slam, seeing through the blood. And Dusty Rhodes just has to get the heck out of the ring. And one more time, no, doesn't quite get the elbow to go on Virgil. And now he's got Virgil twisted around by the arm. And there's a big arm drag from Dusty Rhodes. But another tilt-a-whirl from Scott Steiner as Dusty tries to run at him. And now Dusty Rhodes being wrapped around by Scott Steiner into a reverse DDT. Big Papa Pump sends him down to the floor of the arena. And now from behind of Virgil, there goes Dusty. But Virgil snapmare. And he's going to get him with his own elbow drop right across the jaw. The elbow, the pointiest part of the human body, just being abused here in this match. Lots of old school wrestling. Elbow drop after elbow drop after elbow drop. And now Dusty is dead. Papa Pump and Virgil. Scott Steiner just throwing him into the steel ring post, rolling him back up in the ring. Dusty Rhodes may indeed be dead outside. Scott Steiner has Virgil right where he wants him in the ring. The double underhook applied. Big sit-out powerbomb. And we've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, just 2. Dusty tried to get in. He was a little bit late, but Virgil actually did kick out. That looked like the end of the match there. That was incredibly exciting. The crowd is totally behind the effort of these three guys in the ring, whether or not they like the NWO, whether or not they like the $1 Million Corporation. We all know they love Dusty Rhodes coming back to WWE. But either way, they are totally behind this match right now. Scott Steiner breaks up a Virgil pin there. And now Steiner going to take advantage of Virgil inside the ring, throws him into the turnbuckle. Scott Steiner just looks like he's saving up for something huge here. And wait, he's going up top after Virgil. He's got him from behind up top. Huge back suplex. There goes Virgil. And now wait, Dusty Rhodes capitalizing. Elbow, elbow, and elbow. And Scott Steiner is going to be dead here, ladies and gentlemen. And now Dusty, he's going to go after Virgil from behind. He's going to have to try to get a pin before Steiner gets up, though. He's got a lot of work to do here. There's an inverted atomic drop, and Scott Steiner gets up. Dusty Rhodes could have won the match, but he just couldn't isolate one of the two men in the ring. He couldn't get to that strategy on the triple threat here. And now, wait, there's Scott Steiner from behind. We've got that Steiner recliner. It's locked in, but Virgil is there to kick the move apart. We've been waiting to see that all match, wearing each other down like this. I don't think it's possible that anybody could actually escape from the Steiner recliner. And now Virgil's got Dusty Rhodes with his arms locked behind. The bad guys are taking advantage of the man in polka dots here. Scott Steiner from behind, but Dusty Rhodes reverses big-time belly-to-belly side slam. Virgil looks on, but now he's going to get some from Dusty too. Dusty working his arm around, and he twists him one more time. Reverse double underhook, lifts him up into a face slam there. And then there's a big twisting neck breaker from Dusty Rhodes. And now Dusty for the pin on Virgil. 1, 2. Oh, Virgil kicks out at 2. And a big bionic elbow from Dusty Rhodes. And now Dusty with more elbows to the head of Scott Steiner. And now this is Dusty Rhodes' match completely, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to keep one of these two down for a pinfall. And it's probably going to be Scott Steiner here. But Virgil's up. 1, 2. Virgil breaks up the pin. Virgil got up just in the nick of time. And now we've got a double team. Now it's Dusty Rhodes holding Virgil by the arms. And Scott Steiner working on the punches. Someone is going to have to come away with this match. But right now, we've got a double suplex. No! Virgil reverses into a double DDT. And both men are down. This is what you want to do. You want to reverse a double team and get them both down at the same time. But Virgil picks up Scott Steiner. And he's got his own juking and jiving with a series of punches. And now he's going to drag Scott Steiner toward the center of the ring. But Dusty Rhodes is up. And he's with a vengeance on Virgil. Sends him down to the mat. Virgil gets up, has no idea where he is. But Virgil reverses into a leverage pin. 1, 2, 3. Virgil steals a win for the $1 Million Corporation. Unbelievable finish to that match. We had finisher after finisher applied. Scott Steiner almost wins with a Steiner recliner. Anytime somebody attempted a pinfall, the other man was there breathing down his neck. The only way to do it was to get Steiner down and then reverse Dusty Rhodes into a cradle roll-up. Unbelievable, but you know this is why the $1 Million Corporation brought Virgil back into the WWE. Underhanded tactics. He's sneaky. He's crafty. This is exactly what they want amongst their ranks, and they are happy to have him as the 4th member of their budding corporation. He wins a huge triple threat match here on SmackDown. We're going to come back after these commercial breaks. We're going to see Cody Rhodes taking on Christian, guys. But for right now, just revel in all that is Virgil. We'll see you in a few minutes. And we are back from the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a one-on-one match between two fan favorites here. Captain Charisma Christian taking on Cody Rhodes, the tag team partner and son of Dusty Rhodes, who we just saw lose in sudden fashion to Virgil in a triple threat match between the two of them and Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. This is our 3rd match in front of 12,000 plus screaming WWE fans here on the Blue brand. This 2nd SmackDown, 2nd Friday, May 2K14, moving just about halfway through the month here. And these two guys, considering that we've been about a month and a half into this universe mode so far, one of the few people that we just have not seen that we really should have seen is Intercontinental Champion Damien Sandow. Oh, there's a crucifix pin from Cody Rhodes. Can't quite say that rapidly today. We haven't seen Damien Sandow at all, not even a little bit. For those that don't know, he is indeed the Intercontinental Champion. He has not once appeared in this universe mode. Cody Rhodes and Christian here could very well be looking into positive momentum in the arbiter-driven power rankings for the Intercontinental Championship. It could be the reasoning behind this matchup between these two. But as much as we haven't seen Damien Sandow, we really haven't seen these guys either. We haven't seen Christian at all. This is his debut in our universe mode. And the one time we saw Cody Rhodes was on SmackDown last month, losing to Bret Hart in a valiant effort. There was a nice sunset flip from Christian to Cody Rhodes. Either way, though, we know they're going to put on a great match, and we know that all the energy driven into these fans in the last 2 matches, the tag team match to open, the Shield versus the $1 Million Corporation, and the triple threat match that we just saw before our last commercial break, we know that that energy is going to transition into this match, and they're really going to get behind either of these guys who are just competing for more airtime and a potential chance at Damien Sandow's Intercontinental Championship. Now Cody working from behind on Christian, but Christian, very smart, getting into a snapmare and gets Cody down on his back again. Works back and flips over, snapping his head down. Now Cody is down. Christian lifts him up and slaps him, followed by a punch to the jaw. And now twisting his arm around. There's the big twisting neck breaker. Isolates the one arm. And now once again got to flip over and send Cody into the mat, snapping him at the lower back. Definitely a yogatic stretching maneuver there. And now Christian throws Cody into the turnbuckle, and Cody just bounces off. And Christian, with a knee to the back of the head, is completely in control of this match. Looks like Cody Rhodes was not quite ready to come out here, which is a shame because this this announcer has a preference for Cody Rhodes. There's a kick out just before 2. He has a preference for Cody in WWE 2K14. Cody Rhodes is the only person with which this announcer has been able to beat another human being in an online match. Between WWE 13 and WWE 2K14, the only 2 games where I've attempted online matches, I have lost every one except for the one in which I defeated somebody as Cody Rhodes. And I'm still very happy about that. Cody again kicking out. Christian trying to end this thing early, but he hasn't quite gotten enough work done yet. There's a standing headlock, and now he's got Cody. He's going to send him up into the ropes. Cody on the rebound, hits him with a single-arm bulldog, and now Christian is down, and Cody with a knee to the back of the head, taking one right out of Christian's arsenal. Runs at him, big-time knee to the gut, just lariats him over, but now Christian fighting his way out, and now Cody backs off, working from behind on Christian. Has the arm over, and a big twisting back suplex. And now he's just going to stomp on his leg while he's down, rolls him over. There's a kick to the lower back. And just working him over more, stomping on him while he's down. And this time, nice body attack from Christian there, flipping him over with a hip toss. And now Christian has the arm up, and he has Cody up in the air. Big stalling vertical suplex. And now Cody is down in the center of the ring. And Christian wants him up. Christian wants him up real bad there. And he's got him twisting around, and there's that kill switch. And he gets him down to the mat, and Cody is done. 1, 2, 3. Christian wins a big match against Cody Rhodes. Quick fashion. He just came out on fire, looking to make a statement in his debut here on SmackDown this year in our Universe mode. Cody Rhodes just couldn't quite do it, and he's now 0 for 2 in our Universe mode. He's got to hope that he and his dad start tagging up soon and finding success in the tag team division, because it looks like Christian has just put himself well on his way to get up to the Intercontinental Championship. And you better know that Damien Sandow is on notice after this victory from Christian. We'll have to see how things play out in the Intercontinental Championship picture and when Sandow is actually forced to defend it. But for now, Christian looks like he's jumping up in the power rankings that the hooded figures behind the scenes put together. We'll be right back. And wait a minute, here's AJ Lee making her way down to the ring. Looks like she's going to provide commentary during our 4th match. So we just saw AJ Lee, the Divas Champion, huge back body drop from Natalya there. We just saw her make her way down to the ring to provide commentary. She is sitting here at the commentary booth watching her #1 contender, Natalya, take on Kaitlyn, the girlfriend of Edge. Kaitlyn all over the Divas picture last month, helping Edge take apart Kofi Kingston by the end of the month. Those two are still very happy together, even though they haven't really been on TV so far this month at all. But Kaitlyn now really wants back into the Divas picture is the problem here. She lost to Natalya last month in that 1 week where Natalya took apart both Kaitlyn and her arch rival, Lita. Took them apart one after the other in 2 separate #1 contenders matches the last week of the month heading into Extreme Rules. And Natalya still did not get her #1 contenders earned title shot at the pay-per-view. For whatever reason, Vince McMahon decided not to book the Divas Championship, but decided to book a triple threat match for the United States Championship with absolutely no build-up. Natalya, earlier this month on Superstars, voiced her opinion on the matter very, very loudly and angrily in Vince McMahon's office, and almost lost her job if Vince McMahon was not in a particularly good mood that day. But now, as we found out last week on SmackDown, these two are indeed booked, Natalya and AJ Lee, for a match for the Divas Championship that Natalya feels like she has earned at Over the Limit, coming up in just over 2 weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen, 2 Sundays from now. We'll have the NXT Over the Limit next Sunday, and then we'll move right into the WWE version of the same pay-per-view the next week. But Kaitlyn going to town on Natalya here, has her in the corner, big forearm across the throat, and now off the ropes, huge bulldog from Kaitlyn. She looks pretty fired up after a couple weeks' worth of rest. Last time we saw Kaitlyn was our last SmackDown before Extreme Rules. She was helping Edge out against Kofi Kingston when Kofi went completely insane and just took everything apart. But wait a minute, Natalya is getting out of the ring here and making her way over to AJ Lee. And wait, she's screaming at her at the announcer's table, doesn't see Kaitlyn, but now she's got Kaitlyn and twists Kaitlyn's head around, and there's a big-time spin-around neck breaker from Natalya, and she's just showing off in front of AJ Lee here. Unbelievable from the #1 contender. And wait, she's got Kaitlyn's legs, and she gets her up for the big-time stretch. Oh my God, shades of Daniel Bryan here, and Kaitlyn's been dumped in front of the champion AJ Lee, and Natalya's fired up in the ring. And now they're about to square off again. The ref is scared. Natalya's distracted. Wait a second, AJ Lee is now calling Natalya out. AJ's gotten up, and Kaitlyn hits her from behind with the distraction from AJ. Kaitlyn, the girlfriend of the ultimate opportunist, will always take advantage of an opportunity there. And AJ Lee is outside of the ring looking on. Natalya with a big twisting back suplex. And now Natalya outside of the ring going after the champion AJ Lee. But AJ gets her with a Russian leg sweep. And Kaitlyn is happy to just stand in the ring and watch what happens. Now Kaitlyn getting out. But Natalya still going after AJ. Not even paying attention to her opponent in this match. Kaitlyn. And now running with a crucifix. Gets through Kaitlyn, and now running at AJ. There's a big-time bulldog on the outside. We're on the ramp of the arena. The ref is counting. Kaitlyn with a backbreaker to the champion here. We are losing all control of this match. There's a knee drop from Natalya. Kaitlyn just runs her over. I'm getting names mixed up, and AJ Lee is just staring at Natalya. And Natalya misses a drop kick. And AJ still on the ramp. Natalya goes after her with a big-time neck breaker. And now she's got her in a front headlock. And she's got her up in a snap suplex. And AJ is just being dominated on the ramp. The ref is still counting. Kaitlyn is just in the ring celebrating. And there it is. There's your 10 count. But Natalya, as stunned as she looks, she doesn't really care. She's just torn apart the WWE Divas Champion on the ramp of the arena, ladies and gentlemen. We just saw carnage on display between these two. This is how bad Natalya has wanted this match. And Kaitlyn in the ring, very happy with the win. She'll take it any way she can get it. She wants back in this as well. But at Over the Limit, we will have Natalya versus AJ Lee. And with what we just saw between those two, it's going to be a bloodbath. We'll be right back, guys. And here's Ricky the Dragon, and Razor Ramon attacks him from behind. So here we are, main event time in front of 12,000 plus fans in the pit at the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. We've got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Razor Ramon, and Steamboat thrown into the steel stairs. We know what happened last week on SmackDown. They had an Extreme Rules match in the main event, and Razor Ramon won after a Razor's Edge to Steamboat on the floor of the arena, right around where they are right now, actually. So on Superstars this week, Razor was being interviewed by Renee Young about that move at the end and how Ricky had gone online on his Twitter profile and waged a campaign against Razor Ramon, saying how that move was dangerous, how it should not have been used in that spot, and Ricky did not appreciate what it did to shorten his career. So during this interview, Ricky Steamboat attacks Razor Ramon, knocks him unconscious, puts him in the hospital, and promises him he's going to show him what dangerous is. Because of the uproar already surrounding this brand new rivalry that has literally just exploded over the past week, Vince McMahon has determined that this will be a single fall, one fall matchup between these two to prevent any possible injuries. But as we see, Razor Ramon just attacked Ricky Steamboat while he was making his entrance. The two have not even entered the ring yet and are just destroying each other before the bell even begins. They're trapped outside of the ring here until the match does indeed start. And there's a big back suplex onto the entrance ramp from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and these two are just going to kill each other in front of this live crowd in Albuquerque. Slamming Ricky Steamboat's face down is Razor Ramon. We weren't really sure about the booking of this feud last week, but we do know that this is going to be ugly. And now Razor Ramon is up in the ring, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is just going to be celebrating outside, welcoming him to come back. And he does. And they go into another front headlock, and there's a big body slam from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who now picks Razor Ramon up along the outside, and he's going to throw him up the entrance ramp, and he's running after him. They're going all the way up to the stage here. And now a side headlock from Ricky Steamboat, but Razor Ramon with a drop toe hold on the ramp, and this is going to be one hell of an explosive way to send us home on SmackDown. The ref just in the ring watching. He can't start the match until both men end up in the ring. The match just simply cannot start. And now Steamboat from behind, double underhook applied, has him up and drops him on his face on the entrance ramp. And Steamboat is all kinds of fired up here, ladies and gentlemen. And now he's got Razor Ramon up, but Razor is out. into a reverse-ish DDT looking thing there, and now he's choking Ricky Steamboat out on the ramp, and this is just all a blood feud out of nowhere. It was just a random match last week, and Razor Ramon got a little too aggressive with the finish. There's another drop toe hold, and Steamboat hits the ramp face first. It's amazing how quickly this has escalated, but the short temper of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the aggressive style of Razor Ramon showcased by a bulldog there on the ramp, they have just launched this to new levels, and we are welcoming this on the main event here on SmackDown, our second week of May. Big flying arm drag from Ricky Steamboat to Razor Ramon. Misses a punch to the gut there, though. Razor gets up and kicks him right in the abdomen, and now Razor Ramon is just going to launch him down the entrance ramp, and he gets him up almost into the ring goes Steamboat. And there's a big elbow to the forehead from Razor Ramon. And now Razor looks like he is going to be heading up into the ring, and he is. And there we go. Now the match has officially started. If they go back outside now, there will be countouts. Pushing him off is Ricky Steamboat. And now he's got the palms to the chest and a big jumping punch to the head. And a huge body slam from Ricky the Dragon Steamboat to Razor Ramon. I mean, they've just been working each other over in this match so far, sending to the steel stairs and everything. And now Steamboat misses in the corner, and another big bulldog from Razor Ramon, taking advantage of momentum there. There's a knee to the small of the back of his opponent, his much smaller opponent, Ricky the Dragon. And now Razor has him by the throat, and a big choke slam from Razor Ramon to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Pin here, but Ricky kicks out just after one. And now Ricky has him in a standing headlock, but Razor kicks him down, and now he's going to choke him out on the mat. The ref can do nothing but look on as he does let go before it becomes illegal. And now wait, here's Razor Ramon. He's got Ricky Steamboat right where he wants him, and he's got him set up for the Razor's Edge. This time it's in the ring, a little bit less dangerous, but he's got him all the way up and just throws him across the ring. There is your Razor's Edge, and now Razor Ramon is going to drag him across the ring for the pin. 1, 2, almost 3, but Ricky kicks out at the last minute. We've got a collar and elbow tie-up between these two, and Razor comes out on top, and he's got him by the leg, and there's a dragon screw to the Dragon. And now another pin from Razor Ramon. 1, 2, Ricky kicks out again just after 2. Unbelievable resiliency from the much smaller Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but Razor is just relentless, choking him out again. Razor Ramon had to spend a night in the hospital last week because of this, man. He's going to do everything he can here. And, oh, Ricky with another very close kick out. And now Razor Ramon working from behind. Full Nelson applied. The full Nelson. And that's actually what's going to do it. It looks like, yep, the ref is signaling. Ricky Steamboat is unconscious. Razor Ramon wins by submission. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat just fell apart in that hold. And Razor gets his second win in 2 weeks against Razor Ramon. Against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, apologies there, in the main event of SmackDown. They brawled all over this arena before the match actually started, but it was a choke slam, it was a Razor's Edge, and it ended up being a full Nelson. Ricky kept on kicking out of the pins, but he just could not get out of that submission, and he actually passed out in the hole. The leverage was so deeply applied. Razor Ramon, not any less dangerous this week, sending Ricky Steamboat over the stairs early on, but Ricky countered with his own dangerous game plan, and Razor, very happy about the win, heading out of the ring as we send this show off, but he turns around, and he runs back over, and he's just going to stomp on Ricky the Dragon. That's going to send us home tonight, guys. Unbelievable show. Alright guys, SmackDown just went off the air, and that means it's time to show you this week's IWC match card, so you get to pick the one match that we do indeed play. SmackDown was humongous. I don't know, I'm not going to say if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because if you saw it, that's why you're here. But just got to reflect on how good of a show that was. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. But we've got our 5 matches on IWC. I'm just going to run through them real quick here, guys. Leading off the show, we're going to have Mark Briscoe of the Briscoe Brothers taking on Assailant of the Swarm. Assailant, who in real life is now the Worker Ant, if you're a Chikara fan. How freaking cool is that? Our second match is going to be a tag team match. You've got the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who currently hold the IWC Tag Team Championships. They'll be taking on 2 members of Fist in a non-title match. You've got Chuck Taylor, Sweet Chucky T, and Johnny Gargano taking them on. Our third match of the night, you're going to have a submission match. Corey Graves taking on the other Briscoe, Jay. That'll be a fun one to watch. Our fourth match Falls Count Anywhere between Adrian Neville and Supernova. Supernova is a created wrestler who has not been featured yet. His creator is Jordan Demond, who is a regular commenter on my channel. He'll probably vote for this match, as he's been waiting very somewhat impatiently to see his created wrestler in my universe. Here he is. Here's the chance. And our fifth match, our main event of the evening, IWC champion Cassius Ohno taking on Sweeney Antoine in a submission match. That is going to be non-title. That's the match we watched last time between Sweeney and Cassius Ohno. We'll like to see that again. I don't know. It depends on what you guys think of my call Sweeney Antoine. Check out somebody else. I don't know where my vote lies, but my vote only matters in case of a tiebreaker. You will have, I'm recording this on Tuesday, February 11th at about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I plan on recording IWC this time on Thursday, unless things come up. You're probably going to see this video on Wednesday. I doubt I'm going to have it out today at all. I just have way too much to get done. So you're probably going to have about 1 day from the time this video goes up to the 24-hour period to get your votes in for these 5 matches. Again, Mark Briscoe Assailant, Young Bucks Fist, Corey Graves, Jay Briscoe Submission, Adrian Neville Supernova Falls Count Anywhere, Cassius Ohno Sweeney Antoine Submission. Those are your 5. Choose wisely. If you like this video, leave a like on it, guys. It helps me out. It lets me know that you actually enjoy what I'm doing. If I don't get likes on videos, it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong, so that encourages me to change. Please help me figure out the right way. Also, if you're new here and you like my universe mode and you came here for whatever random reason and you're kind of on the fence about subscribing, just do it. Hit that button. I promise you, these videos come up at least twice a week as long as my hard drive works and my schedule works out right. And we're always going to have as much fun. We're going to keep telling stories. We've got a pay-per-view at the end of next week. We've got another pay-per-view after that. And then next month in June, we've got King of Trios and 2 other big pay-per-views for NXT. Believe next month is No Way Out. And then once we get to July, where we have Money in the Bank for the WWE, I have the NXT Royal Rumble scheduled for the same month. So back-to-back, we'll have some pretty cool pay-per-views there. Got some months to get through to get there. But in the meantime, vote on these 5 matches, guys. I love you all. Thank you for sticking with me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.